Hello everyone. I hope everybody is doing magnificently on this new week of ours that we've started. Today I am going to be taking you along as I continue to work on my canvas for DP Along with Friends, Love is in the Air for February. As you can see, I've completed 2 panels. So I'm going to be working on a third. I'll scan up a little bit so you can see. There she is. This is Dragon Hearts by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. It's a 40 by 55 centimeter canvas. And yeah, there's Dragon Love right there, you guys. Anyway, it's called Dragon Heart, but you get what I'm saying. And so I'm going to probably move this over a little bit. Let me know too in the comments if you guys are in close enough. I can bring you in closer, but I don't know if I really need to or should. So let me know if you want to get closer to the drill field I'm working on, or if you're kind of okay being, out of frame a little bit. I'll show you the difference. So I can bring you in, fairly close. I could bring you all the way to the drill if you really wanted me to. But I don't want to make you all seasick. So anyway, so you let me know. I'll put you about there and see how that goes. And I'll probably maybe move her this way a little bit so you can see. Yeah, we'll see how that works. So anyway, be sure to let me know though, you guys, if this isn't comfortable, let me know, because I do use a light pad and I don't want anybody getting extra glare or, eye injury or any of that. So you let me know. Per usual, I will be using all of my diamond painting pens. I will be using blue wax in the single placers, Quake Hold putty in the multi placers, and I am using the cover minder, one actually that I made that has my sons and my dad in it. So, okay. So that's where we are currently. We are on a flood watch here in Southern California for another day. Not supposed to resolve until tomorrow. So, yeah, that's happening. So everybody, cross your fingers that it doesn't get, any worse than it is, because we've been pretty waterlogged. We've had 10 inches of rain since yesterday. So yeah, believe me when I tell you, in a place that's normally this dry and is kind of perpetually recovering from wildfires, that's the last thing we needed, was 10 inches of rain in 24 hours. So I know it's been a hot minute since I've seen you guys, but I took a couple days and just took to my bed because I'm really, guys, I'm so tired of this respiratory thing. I can't even tell you. I have been sick since I felt it coming on Christmas Eve. So I have had 2 full courses of antibiotics, and I am here to tell you, I'm so annoyed that it's still going on. So I'm going to apologize now for any coughing and gasping for breath that, lack of oxygen that you might hear. Also, for some reason now it's gone to behind my nose and affecting my sinuses. So I sound like Kermit with a hangover. So again, apologies. But I wanted to get back to you guys. I missed all of you. So that's kind of been all that's been happening. We've been very waterlogged, and we're kind of just, hoping to get through it. Those of us that have holes in our roof, and our roof is leaking, have had no end of fun. We talked to our 5th and final roofer actually yesterday. This little bitty mobile home is going to require $30,000 worth of roofing, and it makes me want to throw up even saying that, because this house turns 40 this year, which is 10 years already past its shelf life, and last thing I want to do is rebuild it from the ground up. But not like we have a choice. We've had the roofers get up on the roof and look around, pull up the tarps that we have down to try to keep the majority of the biggest leaks covered so that and try to keep Niagara Falls out of here every time it rains. And we have found out some very interesting things, like we're in big trouble. Not the least of which that we found out is, so apparently our roof plywood level, which is the very first level that gets set down before any of the actual roofing material, is broken in half. And we knew something was up and we were worried about it because there's kind of a sag in the middle of the ceiling where what they call the marriage beam fits together on one side of it. So we knew that something not fun was happening. And so now we've had it confirmed that they're going to have to do literally restructuring while they're up there. So that was a whole separate thing. Probably what they're going to have to do is use, well, and because the plywood section has literally broken in half and is just sort of hanging there and allowing everything to get wet, all of the support beams are waterlogged and getting dry rot. And so they're going to have to put support beams for the support beams is what it's going to amount to. So yeah, not going to be pretty. Yeah. And what's even less fun is because we operate mostly on Social Security and my husband's military pension and my part-time wages for taking care of my special needs son. Yeah, we can't qualify to even get our own equity out by refinancing because of the interest rate. It kicks it out of our budget. So yeah, guys, no end of excitement around here. So that's enough Debbie Downer. So anyway, how's everybody else doing? How's everybody's weather? Are you guys waterlogged also and soggy, or what's happening? I know that there's been places that have had snow and just all kinds of stuff happening. So yeah, what's happening where you are? I hope that you are all in structurally sound areas so that you don't have to worry. So yeah, so I'm going to be headed to the local hospital to get chest x-rays when the weather permits. I'm not going to take my electric scooter out in the rain. I mean, come on, that's not happening. But as soon as I can, I have to go down there. Apparently there's an order waiting, so they can take a peek and go, oh yeah, look at that. I'll be darned. Maybe one more antibiotic. Yeah, you think? It's frustrating. I have a new doctor, which I put off getting for more than 20 years. Sorry, guys. So I finally had it with my older physician. And so I did get a new physician. My first appointment with her was in December. And I was not as bad as I am now. And so this is our first go around with illness. And I try to tell her, you know, what it's like when you live on this side of this body. And that, you know, there's no point in giving me 7 days of anything. If you want me to get well, you're going to have to give me at least a 10-day supply. Or we're just going to keep seeing each other forever and ever. And of course now, you know, the deductible's due again, so everything's out of pocket. So yeah, I just got a bill for $240 from the local blood lab. I'm like, really? So yeah. But, you know, I don't really worry that much about it anymore. I'm worried about the roof because that has to be done. And while that's happening, I'm hoping that the plumbing doesn't explode. And we have to replace the air conditioner. So, yeah. But it's like, you know what? I can't give you what I don't have. So, you know, give me a payment plan or help me work it out or don't get the money. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not like there's a whole bunch of options available. Welcome to America. But it's amazing to me how many places and how many people are willing to let a 20-year veteran of these United States just, have a leaky roof or go homeless. Like it doesn't, there's no sense of military patriotism, which I think is just incredibly sad. Because I can tell you guys right now, you're not going to catch me traipsing through the Middle East or in the jungles of Vietnam or anywhere else so that some idiot can say something nasty on TV. Like, that's never going to happen. So the fact that we have people that did that voluntarily, we need to not, at the very least, we need to be able to give them a payment plan for what they need, that they can't just walk out and buy, because who gets rich in the military? No one. So yeah, that's all happening. But I didn't want to have to be on here when I sounded like Kermit the Frog with a hangover. But you know what? God knows when I'm not going to, guys. So yeah, feel free to laugh if you feel the need. But yeah, so I thought, well, now's a good time for a WIP and chat. And so here we all are. I'm here, you're here, we're here, the canvas is here. We're all here. So yeah, how's everybody's February starting? It seems surreal to me that we're already in February. Like I don't know what happened to January. I guess it just sort of decided, I think I'll fly by, and it really did. So yep, what's everybody doing? I know that Crafty Chef Diamond was saying that all of the DP Along with Friends events through November, because we don't do December, are all set up, and all the hosts know that when they're hosting, and everything is ready for the whole year. So that is cool. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, if you would like to see all the events and who's hosting, all you have to do, you can go to Shenanigans with the Bergs. I don't know if it's Shenanigans with the Bergs or if it's Enza's Diamond Painting Gallery. One of them has a listing in their community tab of all the events and all of the channels and all the hosts. And all you have to do if you're interested in being in one of the events is just contact the host and let them know, hey, I have a canvas that fits this category. I want to be in it. And they will be delighted to have you. So, yep, no hard part there. I'm hosting September, and the theme will be a change of seasons. So, any canvas from anywhere that depicts a season, summer, spring, fall, or winter, is perfectly fine. You do not have to have a licensed artwork canvas. I'm not going to be the poster child on that one way or the other. So any canvas that you have in your area that you would like to do, or if you'd like to purchase a new one, feel free, will be completely fine. I'm not sure what some of the other hosts are doing. Usually it's just, again, it's DP Along with Friends. I am just, between you and I, don't tell anybody, but I am planning to offer some little prizes. We're going to just have a drawing, and the only thing you have to do to be entered in the drawing is to be a part of the event. As soon as you tell me, hey, I want to be part of the event, then your name will automatically be in the drawing. So, and depending on how many people we have, I'd like to do 2 a week. If we get really overloaded with people, maybe only 1 a week. But I think that 2 a week will probably be what we do. And I'm expecting it's going to be a good time. Any questions about any of that? Again, you can talk to the individual hosts. You can speak to Crafty Chef Diamond. You can talk to You know, really any of us can probably get you the answer if we don't know the answer offhand. So don't be afraid. Feel free to do that. So yeah, that's what's happening along that route. So if you hear my husband coughing in the background, it's, you know, like I said, our house has been full of sick people. And yeah, and because it's wet and rainy outside, we have, you know, the heat going and it's dry in here. And so everybody's coughing. Anyhow, so what is everyone up to? Did everybody watch the Grammys? I actually did not watch them this year. Although I sort of feel like I did because every news channel on the planet's been carrying the highlights. So I saw most of the interesting parts that everybody, all the pundits have been talking about. So I don't really feel like I needed to watch it because holy smokes, all I've seen is highlights from it last night. So it was good to see the mix of the older generation and the younger generation. Hang on, guys. Bark machines.
Gina.
Sorry, guys. For some reason, when it's raining and getting dark, it sets off the bark machines. Sorry about that. Anyway, so let me know in the comments if you did watch the Grammys. What do you think? I hear a lot of people were talking about they thought it's better than it's been in a long time. Do you think so? Are you pretty convinced that it's been better in past years? Like, what are your thoughts? It was nice to see, you know, the Joni Mitchell and Celine Dion and, you know, and Taylor took it away again. I tell you, Swifties of the world unite. I'm telling you, it looks like she had a good evening. So, yeah, that's happening. I don't watch very many award shows anymore. I used to watch all of them. I mean, award season, I'd be like, don't call me because there's an award show and I'm watching it. I mean, all of them. People's Choice, Critics' Choice, SAG-AFTRA, you name it. And I was watching it. With, of course, the lead up always being the Academy Awards, because those are the ones that I always wait for. The Emmys are growing on me, although they're not my favorite. I like the Academy Awards. So yeah. I have kind of backed away from most of the shows. The formats were getting a little out of control, and it was becoming sensory torture instead of a nice variety type show. So I still watch the Academy Awards, and I probably always will. It's been pretty good some years and really terrible other years, but I'm a diehard when it comes to the Academy Awards. It's one of the times I miss my mom the most because we used to watch it at the same time, and then during commercials, one of us would call the other one going, "Can you believe she wore that? Oh my God." So I miss those times, but thinking about those times makes me smile. So I will probably always watch the Academy Awards. So yeah, I don't really, but the other award shows, nah, you can have them. It's fine. And so yeah, I don't know what you guys are into. Do you watch any of the awards? Are there some that you like better than others? How do you feel about how the awards have been lately? Do you think that the right person got the award? Apparently there was some angst last night with Jay-Z kind of supporting his spouse and, making a point of letting everybody know that, hey, Beyonce hasn't had this particular one, I don't know if it's ever or in a long time. She has 32 Grammys. I don't think she's, feeling a burn of any kind. But anyway, I don't know. What did you think of that? Do you think he was right to stand up for his spouse? And did you guys notice how much Blue Ivy, their daughter, looks like her mother? My gosh, she looks like a little Beyonce. Anyway, so what did you guys all think? Are you doing any diamond painting events other than any of the DP Along with Friends events? Do you do them often? Are you doing your very first one? Like where are you in the scope of things? I know that we've had a fair amount of newbies that, started last year or within the last year, let's say that. So makes some of us feel like veterans, huh? Because we've been at it. If you've been at it over a year, then you know what I'm talking about. But I like newbies, and I like helping them if I can, and I like offering answers to their questions and suggestions if I have any, because I think it's a good community. The DP community in general, aside from a couple of difficult individuals, it's a good community. It's a good place to be. Very supportive of each other. And, crafters in general, it's hard to find, a mean, terrible crafter. Most of us are, just, good people. So it's nice to be able to help somebody new to the community and welcome them aboard. And, we were all new once, right? So that's all good. Sometimes, helping out a newbie means referring them to another diamond painter's video that's, either way better than one I've done, or they've done one on a topic I haven't done one on. So, and no harm, no foul. I mean, we're all diamond painters. It's like no big deal. And that way they get the information that they need from a variety of sources, and they can feel more like, like they belong, which they do. We all do. So that's happening. For those of you that are participating in Richard with Real Men Craft 2's event for March, M&M. Do you have your canvas yet? Did you take one out of your stash? Did you buy one special? Like, what was the plan? I have my Minnie Mouse ready to go. I have the canvas ready to go. I do have to do the kit up, though. That's the only part. And the only reason, really, that I haven't done it, you guys are going to laugh. The only real reason that I haven't done it up to now is that I'm trying to decide what kit up containers storage system I want to use for it, which is kind of silly, I know, but I do have different ones that I could use, and sometimes the ones I would like to use are either already in progress with another project, because again, multiple WIPs at all times, or there aren't enough colors in the diamond painting to use the kind of storage system I'd like to use. Like, I'd probably use one of my other Elizabeth Wards, and I do have a couple that are empty, but I think that canvas only has like 24 colors, and Elizabeth Ward containers, there are 42. So I hate to use up that level of storage container for something that's only really going to take up half of them. But, at the same time, I like using them. They're easy to use. And when they're available, I hate to go, I can't really use it. I'm going to have to use something else. But I think I'm going to have to use something else. I'm probably going to use one of my 30 count art dots for it. So once I make that decision completely, then you will see me in a video showing the kit up and the canvas ready to go. I have it washi taped off and everything. So, yep, that's no problem. That will be completely ready to go. I just really have to just do it. So I'm doing Richards. I'm also doing, and this one I have already kitted up. I just have to tape off the canvas. I did get the one I'm going to do for Mermaids and Magic, which is being run by Crafting with Shay. And I changed my mind twice. I was going to do an actual mermaid canvas, but I kind of like the, the and magic part of that. And so I've decided to go ahead and do a dragon, a lady with a dragon that's in purples that I got for Christmas. I'm really excited about that one, and I've been wanting to do it, and I've been looking for an excuse. And the nice thing is, I'm also going to be participating in Diamond Crafts by Eileen's event in April, which is wings and things. Anything with wings, even chicken wings, just wings. If I can't complete the canvas, or if I only get like 50% of it accomplished, which is a good possibility, because this one is it's kicking my behind, you guys. It's just ridiculous amounts of confetti, which I didn't realize. It's okay, I'm enjoying it, but it's just, woo, there's lots of confetti. So if I don't finish it for Shay's event, I can always take it into wings and things, because the dragon has two big, beautiful wings that are obvious in the canvas. So it kind of fits the bill for both. So I can just work it through for 2 months rather than one, which might be enough time to complete it. I don't know, you guys. Sometimes I think I overestimate my abilities as a diamond painter. Anybody else do that? Look at something and go, oh yeah, no problem, I can get that done. And then go, what on earth was I thinking? Yeah. So anyway, I'm thinking that might be what I can do. I am going to double check with Eileen and make sure that her event doesn't require a fresh start. If so, that's okay. I do have a couple of other canvases that fit the bill. I'll probably do a butterfly one. So, yep, I'm covered either way, but I'm just going to ask her, and I'll probably email her and say, here's the canvas I'm planning to do for Shay's event. Is it okay if I bring it to you if I don't finish it? And see what she says. So yeah, but yeah, this is the first year, even though, this is really my second year of diamond painting, but this is my first year of doing any events, because I was a little intimidated. I still feel like I was trying to get my diamond painting land legs under me. And so I didn't try to even participate in any events, because I thought, I'm not really ready to do that. I still have a lot to learn. I'm not really comfortable in my style yet. I'm not really sure how I want to do something. So it was just a lot. And so I didn't do any. So I'm kind of maybe overdoing it this year, but it's also kind of an experiment for me, because I need to find out, what are my limits? Where are my parameters? Am I biting off more than I can chew? Is it an amount that I can do? One of the things I'm for sure doing is I'm doing rounds. Not doing a single canvas for any of the events that are squares. I'm just not doing it. So I don't think I will ever be in Zen with squares. They're just not my thing. I'm enjoying doing the Paint Gem Zodiac set, which are squares. But I think, and I have found that by the time I finish each of the individual canvases, which are, well, the canvas itself all the way around is about a 4x6, but the space of artwork, the drill field, is smaller than that. But but it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of colors, and there's a lot of it's just a lot. And so by the time I finish one, I'm finished with it. Like I don't even want to start another one of the little canvases right away. I'm like, no, I have had my fill of squares today. Thanks very much. So, yep, I just don't like the persnicketiness, and you really have to use with squares, because you can really screw yourself up later if you don't do it that way, if you don't make sure that they're laying down correctly, and you don't hear that crunchy little snap that everybody loves, when you go to put one in between the ones you've already put down. If you don't have those things occur, then, crises can unfold as you get closer to the finish line. And who needs a crisis then? Like, you're almost finished with it, really? So, yeah. just not my cup of tea. And it's interesting because I had to laugh. I was watching WIP and Chat on Diamond Paintings with Laura, and she was also not excited about squares. I think she said she'd already, I don't know if she was on her second or she'd already done 2 diamond paintings that were squares, and she really was kind of a little close to burnout with the squares. So I'm like, oh, thank God it wasn't just me, because, yeah. You know, God love all of you people that are squares people. I'm so glad there are squares people. And I do think it's, you know, they're very pretty when they're completed. But, ooh, you can have my share, because, no. And I know, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, you don't see any of the drill field behind squares. All true. That's all true. I actually don't mind that. In fact, I think it's kind of cool to see some of the drill field sometimes behind rounds, because sometimes, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, you probably have, but sometimes the colors that are used on the canvas are, hold on guys. Hey, hush. Sorry guys. Are a shade or 2 different than the actual color of the drills that are going to go in that section. So that sometimes is really cool to see that behind the drills that you set down. It kind of gives it a neat effect. And so I'm okay with it. I like that it shows through. So, you know, that's the beauty of diamond painting. It's all personal preference, and there's something for everyone. So yay on that. I also have a small GBFKE haul that I will be showing you guys. Now, here's what's funny about that, you guys. I had 2 orders that I placed about 8 or 9 days apart about a month and a half ago from GBFKE. Still waiting on them. But the one that I just put in like 2 weeks ago, it's here. It's here already. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. But anyway, it's here. So I have a few canvases that I will be interested in showing you. And what you will find fascinating is there's not a dragon among them. I know. Try not to pass out from shock, because really, for me to make an order of diamond paintings with no dragons, was I ill that day? Probably. But regardless. And I was looking for a couple of specific things. I'm going to be doing diamond painting with Jack's Hello Kitty event that she's doing. I think it's in November. It's either August or November. I think it's November. And I am not a huge Hello Kitty fan. I mean, she is. She's like the ultimate Hello Kitty fan. But I'm not. So I didn't have any canvases, so I had to order one. So I happened to be looking for something else while I was on this site. And, well, lo and behold, there was a really cute little Hello Kitty one. So I got that one, so I was ready to go when that time comes. So, yeah, that's how that ended up in the cart. And now one of the original 2 orders that I put in there, I also have a couple orders coming from Kudiels. Shipping's been difficult. They're already en route, so everything's been shipped. It's just, you know, between the inclement weather and the slow delivery services between here and the other country, you know, it's just a waiting game, but they're en route. I purposely didn't order anything in February because I know that the Lunar New Year is a big holiday and that a lot of the stores are going to be closed. And I'm assuming that means probably the shipping areas as well. So yeah, I didn't want to get caught up in that. So I won't be ordering from any place that requires overseas shipping until March rolls around, because yeah, not everybody is, you know, going to be around. So, yep. So when they all get here, I'll have more to show you. That's what's happening. I'm trying hard to get my January completions going. I'm doing okay. Or I'm sorry, my February completions. I think by the end of February, I will be in pretty good shape. And I think I'll have all or most of them complete. I do think it's nice that we have an extra day in February this year because I'll be needing it. But yep, I think it's gonna be all right. I have no expectations that this canvas is going to be completed in February. So, you know, that's okay. Doesn't need to be. But I do want to make, you know, significant progress on it so that, you know, it shows that, yes, I was working. I promise. I wasn't just sitting around going, I'm just going to pretend I'm actually in the event. No, I really am. I'm working on it. Not the fastest diamond painter ever to walk the planet. I know that. So that's okay. What else is happening? 3 out of 4 of my dragons are up now. Although Merlin is still kind of yo-yoing it back and forth. I don't know what his deal is. It's been a little different with him this year, but yep. But Merlin and Smolder are busy blackbearding up and posturing at one another because, you know, they think it's mating season because usually it is when they wake up in the spring. It's just that they went down early and they got up early, so they don't quite understand why spring is so gloomy. It's like, well, is it still winter? So yeah, they're kind of acting a fool in their enclosures, which is, yeah, it's okay. And Ruby's still sleeping, so she's sleeping through the whole thing. But yeah, the guys are all up, so having to deal with that and get back into the routine of everybody's bath, everybody's food, everybody's greens, everybody's tank cleaning, everybody's everything. Yeah, it's a lot. It was peaceful when everybody was asleep and we didn't have to do all of that because it takes everyone in the house to get through that every day. So that's where we've kind of been. Yeah, that and trying to stay out of the colder than cold weather. Which I know it's laughable because when you guys have inclement weather, you have inclement weather. You know, with us, that could be anything under 60 degrees and we all freak out. That's just how we are out here. Weather wusses, 100%. But you know, we do the best we can. What else is going on? I don't know why I keep saying like that's not helpful. I'm trying to think what else can I tell you that you don't already know? Let's see. I also am going to have an unboxing in the next day or two from Raven Diamond Art. And if you want to see kind of what their art is like, you can run on over to Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting and see Mushmallow 79's videos on it. She's done quite a few now, sneak peeks and unboxings. So there are videos to scan over there. And I think that will be fun. The one I wanted to order, not surprisingly, was sold out. So that's okay. I got my next favorite, which will be fine. And so you'll all get to see that one. Yeah, you can let me know, you know, which one might be your favorite. There are certainly plenty to choose from over there. So I would recommend scoping it out, even if you're not really into that kind of artwork. If you just want to get one for Halloween, I would get it now because when they sell out of something, it goes to the graveyard. They don't restock it. So if you miss out on it, you just plain miss out on it. They do say that periodically they'll bring back one of the fan favorites from the graveyard, but you know, when that will be and what one that will be, you'll never know. So till it happens. So yeah, I would just go check it out and plan ahead. They have, I think, really reasonable prices. And I would say that they are licensed artwork. It's used with permission from the artist. So it's really nice because most of theirs are running between like $22 and $40. And they have nice quality canvas, good supplies. It would be worth, you know, ordering one and trying it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, what else? Let's see. Does anybody have any occasions coming up? Birthdays, anniversaries, you know, anything of that nature? I mean, obviously, Valentine's Day is coming up. Everybody have Valentines to give to their loved ones. I still haven't gotten all of them ready, although I have ideas. It's just being able to sit down and implement them is a whole different ball of wax. But I plan to be on that quickly because we're quickly getting to the point where if you have to mail any, you have to mail it because, you know, we're already getting closer and closer. But other than that, anything? My husband and my 21st wedding anniversary will be coming up in March. And so, yeah, that's happening. I always struggle with what to get him, so he's not easy to buy for. We don't have a lot of things in common. He's a gun lover. I'm not. He's retired military. I'm not. So, you know, which can be good in some ways and tough in others. So, yeah, not sure what that's going to entail, but, you know, I'll figure something out by then, I'm sure. My son's birthday is also coming up. And, yeah, 27 already. Oh, am I right about that? I might be wrong about that. No, I think I'm right about that. Yeah, it's just amazing how fast time flies. It's just ridiculous. Like you bring them home from the hospital and you turn around and they want to borrow the car and you turn around again, they got kids of their own. It's just nuts. I don't know how time does that. It's like some kind of physics experiment gone awry. Anyway, so that's what that's about. And then I haven't looked at the calendar. I don't know if Easter is at the end of March or if it's fully in April this year, but that'll be coming around too before you know it. So, yeah, anybody going to be traveling? Have any plans to travel? I have not traveled since before the pandemic, although I hear that TSA can be quite a challenge. I have not tried it, so I don't know, but I can certainly see how it could be a challenge. That's for sure. So if you're going to be traveling, let me know in the comments. Where are you going? And is it business or pleasure? What else is going on with you guys? Do you live in an area where every winter you think you're going to move so you don't have to go through another winter like this? Or do you live in an area where you go, oh, I look forward every year to the peace and quiet that snow brings? I used to live in Portland, Oregon. I lived there for a while. And a number of years. 2 of my kids were born there. And I remember the first time that we were there and it snowed, and I've never seen anything so beautiful and so peaceful ever. I just, because rain is loud, it's not peaceful, it's noisy, and it can be a little disquieting and can be hard on your animals, and, just all of that. So when it snowed, I just thought, so this is why people live in areas where it snows, because this is really peaceful and beautiful and wonderful. And I still think that as long as you don't have to drive in it. If you have to drive in it, then that's not such a great thing. Otherwise, yeah, it's really pretty. So what are your thoughts? Do you live where it snows? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I'm a native Californian because I'm from the Bay Area, which is Northern California, and now I live in Southern California. And I will tell you that perpetual spring and summer, though it does make things easier in a lot of ways, and we're more outgoing people, we say hi and good morning and everything to each other every day, is nice. But, having weather that doesn't really change that much is not always what it's cracked up to be. It can be kind of tiring and kind of hard on your cars and kind of hard on your furniture and hard on your houses. So, yeah, it's got its challenges. But I will say the things that I like and appreciate, and the older I get, then I'm appreciating more, like, I know if I need to go to UCLA, I can be there in an hour and 20 minutes. If I need to go to Stanford, it's about an 8-hour drive, but that's okay. I could do that too if I needed to go for some reason. I know the roads are going to be dry. I know that chances are that the weather's going to be cooperative. You might need a hoodie, but that's probably the extent of it. So I appreciate those things. The older I get, the more I appreciate them, because sometimes just accessibility and the challenges of getting somewhere are enough to make me go, never mind, I don't even want to go, because it's just one more thing, and it's constant, like it's too much. So, I'd rather not. And you have to plan trips out. Like, okay, if you take a medication, that means that you have to be near a bathroom for the first 2 to 3 hours after you take it, and you have to be on the road. Do you have rest stops that are going to be close enough together where you can take your medication, or do you need to just not worry about it till the next day? Like, what's the plan? If you have medication that requires refrigeration, how are you going to take that with you? So, yeah, there's just, the older you get, there's so much more to think about, It used to be, oh, you want to go do something? Let's go get in the car and go. Because, spontaneity, right? And now it's like, are you out of your mind? I would need a week and a half to prepare for that. There's no way. So, yeah, enjoy your youth, people. Because your mind doesn't really age. The rest of you, however, holy cow. So, yeah. So, hang on a second, everybody. Having a cord issue. Because, of course, I am. Wouldn't be a me video if there wasn't some kind of trauma happening. Okay. So, yeah, that's going on. And it's especially hard to, I think, for those of us that live with chronic pain, that changes a lot of factors for you if you're going to have to travel. So, you have to think about more types of things. So yeah, so it's nice to not really have to think about the weather much. Like, it's California. It's going to be, sunny and somewhere between 68 and 72 degrees most of the year. And then a couple weeks out of the year it's going to be blistering hot, and a couple it's going to be really cold and or rainy like it is now. But that's it. And then like I hope everybody enjoyed winter. It was on a Thursday this year, so, you know, other than that, it doesn't really change much. So now, you may ask, do you pay extra for that? Probably. God knows we're taxed to death and we pay extra for just about everything. So that would not surprise me. But yeah, the older I get, the more I appreciate that I don't have to drive in anything resembling ice or snow. I don't have to worry about, you know, it being bitterly cold and my furnace going out, and then what am I going to do with my animals? Like, none of that comes into play because, you know, in the first place, it doesn't really get that cold. And in the second place, it's almost never too cold, you know, that the animals are a concern. Sometimes the reptiles, it depends on how cold we're talking. But other than that, you know, the dogs are fine. So yeah, that can be really a relief from time to time to know that, hey, we can kind of go any time of the year we want to anywhere in the state, and it's not going to be an issue as far as, you know, driving and the elements. So, yeah. So that's what's going on. But at the same time, I miss actual seasons. I miss them. I love the way fall smells in the air. I miss having, you know, fires in the fireplace. Now, I do have a fireplace and it is wood burning. But it's actually kind of a makeshift fireplace that, not makeshift, but I mean, it has one of those facades on the front. So it looks like it's brick, but it's not actually brick. I mean, it's pretty and I like it, and it's fun to hang the stockings on at Christmas, and I love to have a fire in the fireplace and sit in front of it. All of that's really fun. But again, don't get to use it very much because it's rarely cold enough to really have a fire. So, but boy, when I lived in Oregon, oh yes, the day we moved in, and we moved in on the 1st of November for a variety of reasons. I mean, not the least of which was my husband changing jobs. He had to go when he had to get 2 weeks notice, and then he had to go when the new company was ready for him. So needless to say, we had been trying to move since the summer, but that's when we finally got to go, was that first weekend in November. And let me tell you guys, it was 4 degrees. 4. It was so cold. I'm like, oh, we got to thicken up our blood. We are not going to make it. This is some serious cold. And so it took us a year or two before we really did. But that was actually the coldest year, was the year we moved in. And so, and we had snow that happened, like, we moved in on a Friday, and I think it snowed on Sunday, and it stayed on the ground for a really long time, which it also doesn't really do that often in the Portland area. It's not, you know, it's kind of mild in terms of the weather, but it still has seasons. Like, you can tell, you know, if it's spring, you can tell if it's autumn, you can tell if it's winter. So yeah, I kind of miss that. I love the smell of fires and fireplaces and barbecues in the summer where people are barbecuing, and, you know, first couple of rains in the winter, clearing off all the debris and all the pollution. I mean, it's just, you know, it's peaceful to my mind. So I do miss that. But I don't miss it enough that I would go ahead and drop everything and try to move back at this point. No, because what I do not miss is, you know, things like, you're going to be stuck in your house until we dig you out. Yeah, that, no, don't want that. Having to put chains on the tires or trading them out for spiked tires in the winter. Yeah, none of that was enjoyable. So if I could just live somewhere that it snowed and I never had to be out in it, then yes, that would be okay. So yeah, that's that whole thing. But I dearly loved it when I lived there. And I think I was 24 when we first moved there. And I had not lived anywhere but California. I was a native Californian. That's where I grew up. That's where I lived. That's where I worked. That's where my family was. And so I hadn't really branched out. And so when we went up there, and I did have some family members up there, like we weren't going to, parts unknown where we didn't have any kind of a social network. We did. But it was such a different environment than I was used to. It really was so different, you guys. And then once I got used to it, I'm like, oh, I just love it. I'm so glad we moved here. And then when it turned out that my kids were going to require special education and optimal health care, yeah, at that time, I don't know how it is now because we moved back in 98 down here. I don't know what it's like now, but back then they were 20 years behind in education and healthcare of California. And I just went, yeah, we're not going to be able to stay here because I need to put them where they can get the services and the care that they need and the education that they can utilize. And yeah, we can't stay here. So, we ended up moving back in 98 and got divorced in 2000. Married my husband I have now in 2003. And so and then had a custody battle with my ex for 6 years. What a nightmare that was. And so, yeah, been around here ever since. And they did get through the educational system, which was nice. It took some doing. And it took some research and understanding their rights and my rights and, what the difference between what the state of California offers and what the federal government says has to be offered and, what that looks like and how best to utilize that information to get what your child individually needs. Which is why I went into special education advocacy for families, like mine, for a number of years. And ended up helping over 70 families get an education for their children that everybody could live with. So, yeah, it's funny how life throws you curves, right? And you just have to sort of run with it, which I did. And so, yep, all things said and done. But now, they're all grown men. So, raising children of their own, interestingly enough, my oldest son, who's about to turn 7 this month, actually, his birthday's on the 11th, is on an IEP. He's in special education. So it was fortunate. I mean, my son calls me all the time and goes, Mom, how did you do that? How did you get me that service again when I needed it? I'm like, okay, do you not remember? No, I don't really remember that much. He's very, very typical ADHD. So, yeah, everything's a struggle for him. So, we talk about it and we discuss, well, what should it look like and what does your son really need and how is it different from what you needed and who do you need to talk to and do you need an assessment or do you have enough information to justify what you're asking for? We go through all of that. And so, yep. So right at the moment, it's going fine and everybody's on board and, he seems to be getting most of what he needs. There's a couple other services I would like to see, but I've explained that to his parents and now it's really up to them whether or not he gets them. I did explain, though, if he doesn't get them, okay, because, second grade is a whole lot different than, 12th grade. The worst thing you can do is wait too long. I used to just want to wring the necks of people that would call me and say, yeah, I really need help. My child is really struggling in school and I don't know, what we can do, but yeah, it's been really bad. Okay, is it just this year it's been bad? No, it's been bad for years. Okay, what grade is your child in? 10th or 11th? I'm like, okay, and you want to do what in the last year or year and a half they have left? Where were you when they were in 4th or 5th grade? Like, what? Really? I mean, I would try to help them because I understand what it means to be looking down the barrel of, your child's potential failure. So I get that. But, oof, there's a whole lot more you can do the earlier you go to bat because, again, it goes by very quickly. And there are different expectations of children each grade that they go through. So it's important that the minute that there's a problem and that you and the school may not be on the same side of that issue, that you get yourself an advocate and get an IEP called and get a meeting going and get that taken care of, because you can do a lot more to help a kid the earlier you can do it. So, yeah, so we've talked about it, and he knew that because he, my oldest could see what went on, when we, my second son was getting older and growing up and going through school, and what kind of issues and things he needed, which were very different from the ones my older son needed. And so, but he could also see where it helped and where, and what he didn't feel helped, but we thought was helpful. So all of that to say, from early intervention forward, your outcomes are going to be better if you can get the school on board, or at least get them to agree to whatever services you think your child needs. And, get that going, because, oh my gosh, it makes such a difference later. So, yeah. But I'm glad that I have the experience that I have now, because it's very hard to traverse. I mean, special education in this country in general is a microcosm all its own. I mean, it has its own set of rules, its own set of what can and cannot happen, its own, remedies if things are supposed to happen and don't. And different districts, different schools handle it differently. So, yeah, it's something you have to really be on top of, because you're talking thousands of students in every district, and they're not going to be pulling the focus for any one kid for very long if they can help it. So, and you don't want your child to get such a bad taste in their mouth about school that they end up dropping out because they just don't want any more to do with it. So, yeah, sooner is better than later. Now, my middle son, who stresses me out because his son really needs speech therapy, and they're trying to homeschool him. Now, right now, it doesn't have that much pertinence because he's 5. But, he'll be 6 in June, and he desperately needs speech therapy. And so I told him, if you're not going to put him in school, you are doing him a disservice, because he sounds like a 2-year-old. You're doing him a disservice, because they could work with him in speech therapy and totally eliminate all of that. And he knows that, because I had him in speech therapy all the way through junior high till he graduated out of it. So, he's aware how important it was. So I'm very frustrated that it's taking that route. And I said, it's harder to get through your insurance, especially when your insurance is Medicaid. And they're in Texas, so they don't have the protections that California offers. So, yeah, it's going to be an ongoing battle, I'm sure. But, and the older that, his son gets, the harder it is to try to reset some of that. You have windows of opportunity when children are young that you don't have as they get older. So, again, moral of the story is the same. Jump on it when you can. As soon as you know there's an issue, that's the time. So, yeah, we've had those conversations. Sometimes it's hard to be a grandparent, because when you can see something that should be happening and you can't seem to get the child's parents to understand that, hey, you need to initiate this so that he doesn't have this going forward, and they either don't understand, don't care, or don't listen, it's like, who are these people? Like, I know I didn't raise that person who doesn't want to listen. What's going on? So, yeah, that's all happening. So, yeah, if you guys know anybody that have kids that have delays or that have, speech issues or that have gross motor or fine motor issues or, social emotional issues, really get them the help that they need early so that it doesn't have to be a part of their life as they get older where, the difficulties that come with having to be pulled out of class to go to a special service become much more profound and much more out of the norm so that they have to go through that and try to explain it to their friends in high school. Like, yeah, don't do that. There's no reason for that. And if you suspect that there's a problem, get them evaluated. Go to the school psychologist. Say, hey, I think that this might be an area that my kid is struggling in. So, yeah. Anyway, more soapboxing, I know. I just, when it comes to children and animals, no holds barred. I have no filter because I feel like the innocence of the world are everybody's responsibility. So, and I was a CASA for my county, which is a court-appointed special advocate, which basically means you are a volunteer that gives a voice to foster children or any child that's a ward of the dependency court for any length of time, a voice in education, in the court itself. You get to make recommendations, you get to speak to the judge. So, did that for, oh my gosh, probably 5 years. So, yeah. Because again, if you have a child in your life or a child whose parents can't parent them for whatever reason, and they're in foster care or they're, living with a relative who's not really that dedicated or interested in, what they need outside of the norm, volunteer with them. Take them to the park. Listen to them. Have them over to your house to help you cook cookies. Or, spend some time with kids. Nothing is better, in my opinion, than getting to spend time with people whose eyes are new at this world. That aren't jaded. That don't see all the things we see as adults. It's the first time they're experiencing life. To me, nothing more fun than that. I love hearing the conversations with, especially, that 7 to 9 year old level, before the sassiness starts. Yeah, that's the fun age. My brother, who's an attorney, probate attorney, and childless by choice, doesn't see the value of children. He's not interested. He raises Lhasa Apsos. But that also means that I'm not going to have any nieces or nephews that don't have 4 legs and fur. So, yeah, that's that whole thing. So, but yep, anytime that you can spend some valuable time with a new person to the planet, by all means do it. Because that can be, if nothing else, it's great for a good laugh. Because, boy, some of the stuff that's going to come out of their mouth is just precious. You also can find out some stuff, too, So, yeah, if you get an opportunity, please do that. So, yes, indeed. You guys can probably tell the amount of confetti going on here. It is something else, let me just say. Okay, so if you have any questions about the event that I'm hosting in September, do not hesitate to ask. There's no question too big or too small. I hope you guys will join. So we're going to have some fun. What else can I tell you about that? If you have any questions about if you have a canvas in mind and you want to know if it qualifies, chances are really good it's going to. But if there's a question, you can always shoot me a picture over it. My email should be in the description in this video. I've tried to add it so that it will always appear. You can let me know if you don't see it, but I'm hoping that it's in there. Or you can leave me a question in the comment section. Either way, it's fine. So, yep, I've already kept you guys here for over an hour, which just, I don't know. Every time I think I have nothing to say and then I don't shut up for over an hour. I don't know. Figure that one out. Yeah. So, okay, guys. Well, I have enjoyed hanging out with you. Hope I was able to keep you company for whatever work in progress you're doing or whatever job you're doing around the house or wherever you're driving to. Yeah. There will be, like I said, a couple more videos coming out. I'm assuming it will be this week. If everything gets delivered, because of the weather, I don't know if that's going to be delayed, but in theory, things are supposed to be being delivered tomorrow and the next day. So, as that happens, you will see more videos come up. And if you are in a cold area, please stay warm. If you are in a really warm area, like I'm hanging in there, Australia, I know it's really hot down there. I'm so sorry. I hope that you are able to get whatever relief you need, cool air or warm air inside your home and can be snuggly. Okay? So, yep. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And I hope that everything goes swimmingly. And if it doesn't, just remember, you are an amazing human being and you are the result of thousands of love stories to equal that you're even here. So remember, you should be spoken to all the time, kindly and with respect. People that do not do that don't deserve your time. Turn around and walk away. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.